A peace and greetings, Jimmy Pisces, Eshe here. Um, so 18 days ago, my mother passed away. She was a patient at Sentara Norfolk General. She had been there for months, dealing with a lot of multiple health concerns. My mother was not ready to. We did not think that my mother should have been released from the hospital. And Sentara, she was in their rehab program on the ninth floor in the River Zone, no, Kaufman Zone. And the day that they wanted to discharge her, she had dialysis, and they did 3 physical therapy sessions. She was exhausted. They were working her so much. She was 80 years old, having 3 physical activity sessions and dialysis. They wanted to discharge her. I did not want them to discharge her. She was in no position to be discharged, especially after having dialysis. Um, I remember I was told to go get the car, and I was going to swing around so I could pick her up. And I got a call saying that she became very short of breath. So they took her off of her external oxygen and put her back on the hospital's oxygen. She had a lot of issues with a lot of problems, but breathing was a huge one. She needed 24-hour oxygen. So the nurses said, okay, she's going to stay. So I remember she called and she was like, just go home and come and pick me up tomorrow. I'm going to be discharged. I went all the way home, and then she called me back and she says, they're kicking us out. You got to come back and get me. So they put my mother out. My mother came home, I don't know, anywhere, just guesstimating. It was all pretty much a blur between, I'm going to say between 7 and 8 p.m. that night on the 10th, November the 10th. And after midnight, shortly thereafter, my mother was not breathing. We had to call 911. My father had to do CPR on her. She was gone. And they kicked her out of the hospital. So, anyway, along with all of that, I've been doing my best to process it. It's been 18 days of attempting to process this, and it's been a roller coaster. I am, I don't know. I just left the funeral home. We had a viewing for my mother. I was there for some hours, just staying with her and talking to her, and I was looking at her, and I know that I understand deeply the premise of that the body is just a temple. That's something that I speak all the time. This body is the bodysuit, and when the essence and the spirit of that person leaves, their consciousness leaves, the body drops and it's a suit. But that suit is the suit that I know is my mother. And I had a chance to hold her hand, and it felt like she was squeezing my hand, but I know that it was just the corpse that was tight, but it felt like she was holding my hand. And she looked really good. My mom was always she was a fashionista. She was very saucy, very powerful. She stood at 4'11", but she was a powerhouse. Like my mother, I call her a pit bull in a skirt. People did not mess with her, and I'm talking about women, men, children, nobody. She would get you together, okay? She was very tough on us growing up, and I actually, had a lot of issues with my mom because I was the type of kid that really needed a lot of nurturing and self-assurance, and she wasn't having all of that. She came from a generation of lots of trauma. They made it through segregation and everything. So many things. She even told me that where they lived in the country, that outside of their door they could see the KKK over in the field with fire burning, having their little powwow, whatever they was doing. I shouldn't say powwow, y'all don't take that the wrong way, but they were having their organization meeting outside. So she saw all of that. She saw it all. And so she was a tough cookie. She had her father was murdered, her brother was murdered, and so many things happened to her, and that removed her softness. And a lot of times with melanated women, when you remove that softness, it brings out your masculine energy. So she wasn't able to nurture. She was an excellent provider. She made sure we had everything that we needed. I'm talking about hair done, nails done, everything done. Like, shoes, clothes. I mean, we were looking good. She made sure we were looking good on the outside, but on the inside, I was extremely depressed no matter how I looked on the outside. But mom made sure that we was taken care of. She made sure we had a roof over our heads. She made sure I was allowed to participate in activity. I was in the band. I did cheering, I did basketball, I did volleyball, I ran track, I did all of these different things she allowed me to do. I went to the prom, you know, she put out a lot of money for us. And yeah, so she was a tough cookie. She didn't play. She didn't really understand a lot of emotions, and that was only because her life was so tough that she didn't have an opportunity to feel. So she ended up having her youngest daughter, which was me, that was all about the feels. I didn't know nothing about being cold-hearted. That's not me. That wasn't me. Now I've had my own dose of traumas and drama, so definitely my skin is a lot thicker with wisdom and going through lots of trials and tribulations. So I actually have a lot of respect for her, that she was even able to do what she did, because the things that she went through growing up, a lot of people probably would have gave up or ended up being an alcoholic or something, or like my auntie say, end up being a street person, a street walker. But nah, my mom, she was a nurse for 35 years, very upstanding. She was a strong, as they say, a strong woman. But and in her latter years, as she got sick, I was there to be able to be a caretaker. Me and my father worked together, but I was her daughter and I was the caretaker, and I did my best to make sure when she was at the hospital to come and see her every day, and if it wasn't every day, every other day, made sure she had everything she needed. I was allowed to do her hair. She let me do her hair. That was such a gift, and she didn't want nobody doing her hair but me. And I remember I was like, wow, I get to do her hair like she used to do my hair when I was little, and now I get to take care of my mama. So, yeah, tomorrow is the funeral. She's going to be cremated. And, yes, I was able to get through today, and then we got to get through tomorrow, and then I got to move on. And I was talking to her. I was like, Mom, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. She always helped me with stuff, the hard stuff. All the hard stuff she helped me do. She helped me to get through, and she gave me guidance on what I needed to do. On a lot of things. Some things not. The feelings, no. The hard stuff, I had to figure that out on my own. Through my own. But, it was other things. And she had my back. And, but she took care of everything. If you ever have a parent that literally takes care of everything, and now she's gone, and she didn't leave full instructions on what we were supposed to do, so we have to figure it out, and I have to step into her position, because my father is still here, and I have to take care of my dad, and, I have my children, so I got to step into that position. And why I thought it would have been someone else. I thought it would have been, but they had their own lives, and I was the one that was the closest to her, and now I gotta keep it going. So it's a huge responsibility on me. So I was just like, Mom, tell me what to do. Anyway, she's a strong woman, and I know that she's passed that strength on to me, and I know that it's gonna come through, and I'm gonna, make her proud. I'm not gonna let us fall. We are not going to fall. So that's what it is. So 18 days ago, Lillian Elizabeth Morse, aka Sweet Pea, transitioned. She back with my sisters. She also had 2 daughters, my 2 sisters that passed away. So I know they're together. I know they are. Crystal and Dorcas. I know they were like, when she was on that couch that night that she transitioned, I know they were like, Ma, wake up. Come on. Come with us. I imagine them doing that. So yeah, that's about it. I'll check in later. Peace.